Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So today we start off with a lot of good news. Well, news is good because we're alive. Anyway, we've got altcoin collapsing, an altcoin collapse predicted for Q3 of 2025 by Benjamin Cowan. Now, I was looking at his charts and looking at what he was talking about, and I'm like, he's got a point. In this market, we really can't tell what's going on, right? But there could be a Q3, I'm not going to say collapse, but I would say a definite, drop, right? Is that possible? Absolutely. Is it possible that we don't have a drop? That's also possible. So when I look at this, I kind of sit back and I kind of go, well, what were we doing last year and the year before that? Did we see pops, drops, around that time frame? So Q3, we take a dive, time to buy in so that Christmas comes around, those kinds of things come around, and you see everything start to pop. Don't know yet. It really depends on how the overall economy is doing. And there are two ways that can, that the whole thing can play out in my head. I don't think the economy is going to be doing well. I really don't. I think there are too many things in play right now that point to the global economy taking a hit. If the global economy takes a hit, crypto could take a hit, but here's how we can hit to the bright side. People lose faith in banking. People lose faith in their governments and move over to crypto because they feel crypto is a safe place to put their money. That is how, crypto could actually make it through that time. When you think about inflation in the United States, you sit back and you go, well, inflation is the rate at which prices go up. I do not believe that we're ever going to see it go down, right? Companies are taking too many profits. It's always profit, 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 profit. And if you think about how Wall Street works, you can pull a profit, but if it wasn't what the street expected, your stock could take a hit. At some point, companies need to say, we make enough money. We make enough money for everybody to be happy. How about we start paying our workers? How about we start paying, people that are here? Because if they don't, here's what really could happen in the future. And I wrote this article over the weekend. If companies stop paying their people won't be able to afford their respective services. Let that wash over you for a minute. If I can't afford to buy a car, who loses out? Think about all the jobs that are being outsourced from the United States overseas. Think about all of the, H-1B visas that are being imported. Think about all of that and say to yourself, if we keep laying off United States workers, and I think a lot of countries around the world are starting to think like this. If we keep laying off our own people, how do you expect to make money? You see what I mean? So short-term gain for long-term pain is what I see for a lot of companies. So when I look at companies like Arizona, the iced tea company, they're sitting back and they're going, yeah, I'm fine with that. We make enough money. We don't need to raise our prices. We raise our prices based on real data, real facts. We don't raise our prices because we need to make more money. That's not how we run the company. I like Arizona. I've been loving Arizona since I was a kid. So yeah, love that company. More companies need to think like that. More companies need to act like that. Because the more we outsource and offshore, these jobs, we're going to continue to take a hit. So I've already been saying, I think the later part of this year is not going to be good economy-wise. I just don't know that it's necessarily going to be bad for crypto. With adoption, education, all these different things going on, I don't know if people are going to look at crypto and go, crypto's bad too. I think people are going to start going, if I can't keep my money inside a bank, because I keep losing money by paying fees and everything else, I'm going to have to find another way. Here's something else that's going to hurt companies is the fact that people are going to start saying, well, I need to have another job. because this job doesn't pay me enough. My raise didn't reflect inflation, right? So if you get a 3% raise and inflation is at, let's say, 4, 5, 6, 7%, you've taken a pay cut. You've literally taken a pay cut. So that's why I look at Benjamin Cowan, I'm kind of like, yeah, from different perspectives, but it's highly possible that, we could be looking at a downfall. But then again, like I said, depending on where people's heads are at, thinking, well, I can at least stake my crypto and make money from my money. Whereas putting it in a bank for savings, that's not going to work. Just saying. Then we've got JP Morgan refusing to reimburse fraud victim after somebody masqueraded as them and swiped $87,000 from their bank account. And I get it, but they're saying we would have paid it had you reported it sooner. So your system has a problem, meaning I can't just deposit money there and leave it there and know that it's safe. Why am I giving you my money? That's what I find the problem is. Bybit assures withdrawals after the $1.4 billion, hack. Now, what they did is they went out and they got a few loans, and that's how they're handling it. I still sit back and I still kind of wonder, how do you not have that kind of cash on hand? How does the third largest, centralized exchange not have a certain amount of money on hand? When I was working on the Basel Accords, consulting for one of the banks, one of the things that you had to do, banks had to calculate how much money they had to have on hand every day. Right? Every day. There was a certain percentage that they had to have, and there were calculations that happened throughout their whole banking system. So this bank, throughout all the systems, needed to perform calculations to be Basel II compliant way back when. That still stands. How much money do you have to have on hand? And I look at some of these exchanges and I'm like, you guys need to adopt some of those practices in order for people to regain or even gain trust in a centralized exchange. I don't keep my money, my digital assets on centralized exchanges. Unless I'm in the middle of a transaction or doing something specific that requires an exchange, I don't keep my money there. I don't keep my digital assets there. I keep my digital assets on a non-custodial wallet. That's the whole idea. Some people say, not my keys, not my crypto. Other people will say, well, I have safety, and like Plan B went out and put all his Bitcoin into ETFs so that, he reduces his security risk. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. A lot of people are considering that. But thinking about how big somebody's portfolio might be, Bitcoin might not be the only thing that they have. So until they have all of the popular coins within ETFs that make sense, you're going to have a whole bunch of people having non-custodial wallets. Which, by the way, I told you guys last week, CZ, Changpeng Zhao, believes that everyday transactions are going to transpire via non-custodial wallets. Because if I handle an everyday transaction with a wallet from a centralized exchange, I've got to pay the fee to the centralized exchange plus the on-chain fee on top of whatever I'm buying. Whereas if I do it from a non-custodial wallet, I'm only paying the fee to transfer the digital assets. That's it, which is dirt cheap compared to credit card fees. So just saying, there's a way for things to happen, and CZ is saying there's going to be, talk around that happening is going to be focused on security and the user experience. That's it. So if you've got an easy user experience and you've got tight security, you're going to be a popular wallet. And I don't think he's wrong about that. Russia's Rossetti reports that $14.2 million were lost because of stolen electricity from crypto miners in Russia. And that's a problem because Russia does have a problem with their energy grid. It's weak. So whenever you have, illegal miners, what they call black miners, you run their system into the ground. Interesting, very interesting. So all those oligarchs, nobody ever thought that maybe we should start taking care of our people, because if we don't, we're not going to have whatever. Again, short-term gain, long-term pain. The SEC commissioner, Hester Pierce, my favorite commissioner, leads the SEC's crypto task force, requesting feedback on the security classification, staking, and regulatory jurisdiction around crypto. That's a very big deal, because what she's saying is, listen, I have my own thoughts and opinions about crypto, but from the public, what are you guys thinking? Where do you think we should be going? Remember I kept saying it's going to take somebody who's going to have a pragmatic approach to crypto in order to bring it back in. This is what I mean by that. This is exactly what I mean by that. Then you've got Strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy. Strategy's Bitcoin logo change sparks speculation. And let me tell you something. All it means is that it's Monday and they're going to go buy some Bitcoin. That's what happens on Mondays. So we'll go see how that works out. But I'm pretty sure they're just going to announce that they bought more Bitcoin today. And then you have the SEC ending the lawsuit against OpenSea. Now, I had thought and I had reported that, listen, there are going to be a lot of people out there that are there are a lot of cases that the SEC brought that they're going to go away. A lot of people out there are going to be very happy. This is one of them. This is one of them. Dead serious. So you've got a whole docket full of other cases that are, for lack of a better term, frivolous, unnecessary, overreaching. I mean, there are a lot of words I could use to describe it, but you have a lot of cases that are like that, and this is one of them. And that, if you stop and think about it, markets should be up, and we're not. Like, seriously, the markets really should be up, and they're not right now. We'll get into the numbers in a little bit. North Korea hackers have already laundered $140 million from that $1.4 million hack against Bybit. Imagine. And I'm just sitting back and just kind of going, yeah, that's not a good thing. They must have been sitting there for a while. And when they hit really hard. I think all the other centralized exchanges are also rethinking their security posture, doing double checks now, doing all kinds of things to figure it out. And here's something else. Chainalysis released a new product and service last week that would help law enforcement track stolen funds. I wonder if they're using it right now. I really do. I'd like to hear what Chainalysis has to say. Scammers are also targeting trading bots with fake tokens. Because imagine what has to happen. So I've got a fake token and I've got trading bots that try to snipe the token. But for you to snipe the token, you've got to buy some to snipe. And that, so yeah, I'm sitting back and I'm going, yeah, that's a good way to catch people. So that means Pump.Fun is having issues. Right? Which means Solana's having issues. When we look later, I'll show you Solana's price has gone down. Solana's price has gone down a lot. Right? Like, I think right now is at about $158. We've got a JP Morgan survey showing institutions are losing interest in crypto. I'd like to know who they surveyed. I'd really be interested to find out, who did you survey? Because that's not what I'm reading in all the news. Just last week I reported that there were 1,573 institutions out there that have gone out of their way to buy Bitcoin or add Bitcoin to their balance sheets. So, decreased interest in crypto? Yeah, I don't know about that. To me, that sounds like an article that was released so that they could go buy some crypto, because it'll keep the crypto price down, keep Bitcoin price down. I'm not really buying into that. There are rumors that Kanye West sold his X account to, to bark Meta, and there have been news articles about how he might actually release a meme coin. YZY, I think it was Yeezy. And I'm sitting back and I'm kind of going, I don't think so. Oh, excuse me. Meaning, I would not buy that coin, and I don't pay attention to X. I really don't pay attention to X. I drop news on X, but I don't go to X to read anything, except for a couple of business analysts. And really, I can go to Bloomberg to read the analysts that I'm interested in. But I do not, and the reason why is because every time I turn around, X is being hacked. Somebody's account on X is being hacked. So how can I trust X to have the right information? Not to mention, but to me, X is a cesspool of misinformation. I don't have time for that. There are other real sources of information that I go get my news from, and I choose to do that instead. Then you have crypto exchange hacks totaling about $6.7 billion. And there was another hack that just happened to this company called Infini, and they lost $49.5 million. Imagine. Most of those hacks come from a specific country or are tied to a specific country. I'm wondering when the world is going to wake up and say, well, this country has been at war against the rest of the world for all these years. Maybe it's time we hit back. I mean, billions and billions and billions of dollars. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Mind you, they had to send troops to help Russia. So this broke, highly sanctioned country had to send troops to help Russia. Somebody asked during the Sunday roundup yesterday, what kind of event could send the crypto market crashing? I said, a few of us said, war. War could do it. It's just a fact. But I don't know how long it will be if a given war is kept within a certain region. Israelis' war, Ukraine's war, or Russia's war, they were kept within regions. So had an effect, but then that effect kind of died down. Could we be reaching new highs? Yes, we would have reached new highs had the United States not introduced tariffs. I think we'd be well above 110 for Bitcoin. But we introduced tariffs and that dropped us. And we still haven't recovered from that. We haven't regained where we were. We're still down. As a matter of fact, you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. But one more piece of news. India and Qatar sign a $10 billion trade deal expanding into artificial intelligence and other technology, including semiconductors. Remember when I was talking about outsourcing jobs? India is one of the number one places in the world where countries outsource their jobs to. It looks like that economy is picking up, doesn't it? Just saying. There's going to come a point where it's just not, the labor arbitrage just isn't going to be there anymore. So, just saying. So let's start over here. What do we have going on this week? Let's see. Tomorrow we've got Fed presidents talking, consumer confidence levels, Case-Shiller home price index. Now, home prices did rise, which is why home sales dropped. It's a combination of interest rates and the price of houses that are stopping people from buying new houses. And that's going to be a problem for people. Yo, good morning, Cortez Charles. What's going on? Haven't seen you in a minute. On Wednesday, we've got new home sales. On Thursday, we have initial jobless claims, durable goods numbers, GDP numbers, pending home sales. Federal Reserve Vice Chair is going to be speaking, more Fed speak. Friday, we're going to see personal income numbers, PCE index numbers, core PCE as well. So this week could be an interesting week. It could wind up being an interesting week. DeFi Llama, we dropped a little bit. We were at 119. Now we're at $116.31 billion in total value locked. We're seeing declines. We're definitely seeing declines. As long as we're above 100, I'm comfortable. If we drop below 100, I'm not going to be so comfortable. And this is what I mean. So right here is where we were before the tariffs hit. Like you see right here, this area is where we were before the tariffs hit. Then as soon as the tariffs hit, we dropped. And then more. And then we dropped precipitously. And we have yet to recover. We were all the way up here on a trajectory to crush through $110,000. Now we're back between my pink band, which is at 93,434 and 99,655. That's a no bueno situation, except that I can keep buying in. I can keep DCAing into my bags. And that's the whole idea. Remember what my DCA strategy is. When I dollar cost average, I'm adding to my bags, but I'm also counting an additional bag. So even if I had one bag, there's going to be an additional bag always. And that's my dry powder bag. My dry powder bag is for situations like this where we see a huge drop, right? That's an opportunity to buy. Look at that. We were all the way down here to about $91,000. At that point in time, from here over here, that's a good time to buy. So I did. Dry powder. So if you're investing, it's always good to say, well, I'm investing in these things, but I should also put some dry powder over here. I am investing in all these other things, but I should drop a little dry powder over here. Trust me, it makes sense and it will help. There are 3 things I want you to do every day, practices every day. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. But for 15 minutes a day, just do your own research. 15 minutes a day. I ask the same question all the time. Have you done your research today? The more days you do your research, the more in tune you are with what's going on in the news. The more in tune you are with what's going on in the news, the more in tune you are with your own bags. And you're also able to hone your skills on identifying opportunities and risks. Again, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. These are things that I practice on a daily doggone basis. It's more of a big deal than you think. Way more of a big deal than you think. Then when I look at the big board, I'm sitting back and I'm going, wow, there's a lot of opportunity here. I mean, a few days ago, Cardano was close to 80. Solana, like I said, took a huge hit on the chin. It's at $158. Am I going to be buying into Solana? No, what I have is what I have. And I sold most of my Solana and Solana-based meme coins. I sold most of them. I'm done with it. So I still hold a little bit of Solana, but am I buying in? I could. Right here, I could. If you believe that Solana will come back to $200, look at where this price is and look at where it was before. Before it was at 168, went all the way up to I think 178. So that was money that was made. That could have been made. Sorry, everybody. This is Stitch. He likes to say good morning. So, when I look at Solana, is there an opportunity to make money? Clearly. But it's taking it on the chin because of everything that's going on because of Pump.Fun and the Libra coin. So you should be paying attention to everything that's going on in that space. And you need to understand, is there an opportunity to make money here? For me, I could let it go. Knoxville was good. Then you've got Cardano. I'm always going to DCA into Cardano. Always. That's one of my things. Link at $16. I'm absolutely going to get into Link. Why? Because at $16, if it can get back up to 20, $16 is a really good number, no? That would be like a 25%, almost a 25% gain based on where it is. Well, a little bit less than 25%, right? Because it's at 1668. But I'd be getting into Link. Chainlink is no joke, so I'm all about it. You have Aptos that's sitting there. You have a lot of coins that are telling you, hey, there's an opportunity for us to get in. right? The fear and greed index is at 59. I mean, sorry, at 49. So we're neutral right now. We're just neutral. But when I compare the numbers right here, I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, all right, great. Year to date, Bitcoin's dropped. It's only at $2.64, whereas Ethereum has stayed around that loss level of 19%, right? XRP is up almost 20%. When I scroll down, I look at who else is also up 19%. It's going to be Litecoin, even though Litecoin took a little bit of a hit because it was higher than XRP. Who else is up? Mantra is up over 119% year to date. 119% year to date. That's nuts. Thank you, Joaquin, for getting me involved in that. But yeah, I'm looking at what's going on, and I'm looking at all the numbers, and I'm paying attention to where should I be DCAing into? Which one of my bags should I be getting into? And I weigh that on a daily basis. And the only reason why I'm able to weigh that on a daily basis is because I do my research every day. And because of that research, I have to reevaluate my entries and exits, which goes to know your entries and exits, which enables me to buy, sell, trade, or sit still, which is called absolutely investing deliberately. Those three, the GMB 3, the book will be out hopefully March. It's almost done. It's in design. Design is almost finished, and then it goes back into edit for one last time, and then it goes to print. Yeah, so we're hoping by the end of March it'll be out there. So yeah, this is what we're thinking about when we look at all this stuff. This is what we're literally talking about, is understanding your money, understanding your value, and trying to understand where it all fits. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, smash the likes, tell your friends about this community, because this is the only community out there where you are a part of our nighttime show that happens every day during the week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, right here on Grow My Bag. All right? Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And most of all, thank you for your trust. Everybody have a good one. Bye-bye.